Hello, fellow nerds, and welcome to Nerd Doom, where the table explodes with random conversation about anime, games, and nerd culture in general. I'm Mike.
I'm Addie.
Hey, it's been a while. Welcome to our show. It's actually not been a while because we actually recorded and actually have another recording within 2 weeks of the
Your
last one.
your time spatial uh, perception there is a little off.
Whatever, your time spatial.
I do watch Doctor Who.
Whatever. So hey, welcome to our special Christmas special. Special Christmas special because it's super extra special.
Special.
Um,
You're all special in me.
whatever. I love you too.
Uh,
Uh, we're gonna try to focus on more of the Christmas stuff, and since the holidays are coming through, there has been over the years quite a bit of like Christmas traditions and like certain things that, including like things that people like to watch during the time of Christmas, or things of that nature, or sometimes really like really weird nerdy things that they might like to do, like I don't know, go hunt a pig.
that's the thing.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, so for right now, we wanted to talk about a little bit of our list that we like to watch, or try to catch on during the Christmas time throughout the month of December. What is your list?
Let's see. For things I like to watch or do.
Watch.
All right.
Or if there's anything you like to do, then sure.
Be lazy. But that's a daily occurrence though.
I
But
think that's what everybody wants. Like any person that does a solid like 9 to 5, just like he's like, I just want to chill.
I just
Let me
want to be
die.
here. No. When I'm not panicking about family coming in town and like doing a mad dash clean of my house, I try to watch Polar Express. I know not a lot of people nowadays are like, oh my god, it's horrible. That animation is terrible. Blah. I'm like, I don't care. I really like the story and I think it's absolutely cute.
I don't think that's my problem with the story. I just thought it was boring.
I mean, I
Like
can
as a
see
kid,
that.
I fell asleep on it a lot as a kid, so I can't really say too much about my interest.
I mean, I can see that, but for me, I just thought it was cute because, like, I figured out at an early age that Santa wasn't real, and if you have kids listening to this, he's totally real, kids.
Spoiler alert.
But anyway, I figured it out early. So watching this, it kind of took me back to that feeling of, oh, but what if he is real? So, but I thought it was really cute, and the music in it was pretty fun. The I won't lie, the animation for it, there are scenes that you're just like, because you can see where the errors were, especially when the elves are out and dancing, because you can see like one where they're just literally just spinning in place. Um, let's see what else. I think you might agree on this one. The Grinch Who Stole Christmas.
The original, yes.
Yeah,
For
so
me.
I have down. I like to watch either the animated version, the original, and I occasionally like to watch the live action version. I've gotten a little out of it just because my sister, when it first came out, made us watch it every single time.
Yeah, and if you're wondering what we're talking about, we're not talking about the second version
The
of
one that just came
Grinch.
out. No, we're talking about
Uh,
the Jim Carrey
yeah,
Grinch Who Stole Christmas.
the thing that gives
We got to
Grinch
watch it
a
at work.
reason.
Made me happy. So I got that off my checklist for the year.
The only thing I get out of the Jim Carrey version is, and I was saying this earlier over text, what that show has given me based like off of the animation is that the people of Whoville like do not deserve a Christmas for me.
No, they don't. They're awful people.
Like they are awful and super superstitious,
And Mayor Mayhew
and
can go
material, like
bump
very much on
off.
the materials. That is one thing I do like of the Grinch. It really focused on the unnecessariness of materialism when it comes to Christmas, and the superficial feelings of like up topping the other with the light show battles and things of that nature.
Yeah, and you got Cindy Lou Who, who's all like, well, what is Christmas? Because she's starting to lose faith in Christmas, if you will,
Right.
that Christmas spirit, and that's her whole dilemma. And then when she finds the Grinch, she's just like, he's kind of feeling like I am. So this is why I want to go too. But I like it because it's funny, and I'm also a huge Jim Carrey fan when he wasn't acting weirder than normal.
It doesn't make me less of a Jim Carrey fan.
I know. I like watching Nightmare Before Christmas occasionally. Not all the time, but just like once in a while. But it's not going to be. It's either at Christmas or at Halloween,
True.
but not both.
You only get enough for one of it, and
Yeah,
that's it.
yeah. And I watched a lot of it for Halloween, so I'm not really into it for the Christmas this year.
Hmm.
One of the other things I really like to watch is occasionally I'm again history nerd here, so I like watching documentaries, and I really enjoy kind of watching any specials about the World War I Christmas story
Oh, okay.
when like they're out in the trenches, and then like the Germans. Yeah, it's the Germans and the British, and some of the British
Right.
guys
It's
are
the
singing a Christmas song, and the Germans hear it, and they start singing the same song in German, and then they kind of have like a temporary truce for the night for Christmas, and they all come together, they play, they hang out and enjoy it, and then come sunrise, they shake hands and they go back to their trench to start
right during the trench
killing
wars.
each other again.
That's really yeah. It's really an interesting idea. It was like basically like, all right, just for one night, 1 day, 1 hour, right? Was it?
No, it was the entire night.
It was the entire night.
Yep,
Sorry. So for the entire night, just for this time, let's not
be assholes.
let's not shed any more blood, shed any more blood, and just enjoy Christmas.
Yeah, they're now. I don't know about you, but Christmas specials, like they could be for like shows that normally don't do anything with Christmas. I like them. I like
Futurama.
Futurama's Christmas special.
I
That was
love
a
their
good one.
Christmas special. This is some of my favorites.
I really enjoyed. It came out a few years ago, like 3 years ago, I think. How to Train Your Dragon Christmas special.
I never watched it.
It was kind of cute for what it was. I mean, it was ridiculous, but it was cute, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I can't say I've ever watched it.
It's not the greatest thing on earth, but it's adorable.
Oh, is there anything else you had on your list in general?
I do, but I think we wanted to save it for the
Oh,
end
right.
portion.
Right. So like on my list, and I'm not gonna go too far into to any of them. This is like basically the entirety of all movies that I love to watch throughout all of December if I possibly can. And so far, I've only watched
Scenes
one.
of it.
No, one. I've only
Oh.
watched one movie so far. It's Die Hard,
Mhm.
number one.
Mhm,
That's my
mhm,
usual
mhm.
go-to Christmas, like on Christmas.
You and every guy in the nation.
Look, it's one of the best Christmas movies of all time, and not every guy. Okay, there's plenty of women that wants to watch it too.
Okay,
All
fair.
all ages. Tokyo Godfathers.
Oh my god, we need to
'Cause,
watch that one.
yeah, Tokyo Godfathers is probably one of my favorite Christmas movies of all time,
Yeah, I
and
don't
one of my
have a lot
favorite
of.
movies
I
in
don't.
general.
I don't have a lot of anime special Christmas ones because
That's because there
Japan
isn't
doesn't
that
really
many.
celebrate Christmas like we do, so it's not the
Well,
same.
well, they do, but there's not that. It's not like there's that many specials that goes around with it. It's not
Mhm.
like there's something that people like do that often.
Yeah.
I mean, they're out there, and there's some that's a thing, but it's more so that they're not. Yeah, there's just not that many. So next one is Batman Returns, because
I
it,
don't
it
remember
does
that
have
one.
Batman Returns, Tim
Oh.
Burton version.
Oh
Michael
no, yeah,
Keaton.
I like that
Yeah,
one.
Selena Kyle's in it. Yeah, remember that came around.
Catwoman version. Yeah, no, I like that one too.
Yeah, that's around Chris. That's in the Christmas setting.
It's
It's
been
one of my
forever
favorites.
since I've seen it, so I forgot.
Shame. Never forget Michael Keaton.
I know. No, I don't forget that. It's just I haven't seen it in a while.
It's one of my favorites.
I know.
Bad Santa, because I like watching horrible crude humor
You can
for
have
it.
that.
I
I'm
was very
happy without it.
I was very obsessed with that movie when it first came out. I thought it was one of the funniest things ever, and I was like, hey, this is like a lovely family like thing.
Family like thing?
I mean, there's a sense of like family, even though it's super dysfunctional and like hilarious and dumb,
Okay, I
and
get
lots
it.
of drinking.
It's so stupid though.
It's funny. It's really funny. Gremlins, because remember, it's also holiday
It
themed.
is.
Yeah, is just remember that is also holiday themed.
It is. God.
Yeah, I love Gremlins of the Passion, and I'll watch it every time. Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh my god.
I was
It's
very
so
obsessed with that
corny.
when I was a kid. No, it is corny. It's an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, but it's hilarious and it's
It
great.
is.
It's one of the I think it's hilarious and I think it's great, and I watched it horribly amounts when I was a kid watching it. I thought it was one of the greatest. A Christmas Story,
Nope,
because
I hate it.
I don't understand why you hate it. Like,
Cause
listen,
it's. I never was a fan of it.
I think it's better than most stories because the actual feels more like a coming of age story, sort of.
No, I'll take that, but I'm just not a fan of it. Like I think it's overrated.
I think it's great. I think it's nice, fun, funny, and kind of takes it deadpan, like more of a down to earth kind of situation, more realistic, surreal. Like, this is how kids have in Christmas. It's crap.
At least during that time.
Yeah, I mean during that time. I mean, yeah, some of the parts in there are really outdated. I will say
obviously.
this: the movie is outdated.
Well, but it's still a classic.
There's a lot of jokes and a lot of stuff that like you wouldn't relate to today in terms of what's happening, like the the leg lamp. Uh,
No, but
uh,
it's still funny for
I
some
think it's
reason.
funny. And then Home Alone.
Oh God, no, we got to watch that at work too.
Yeah,
I got about halfway through it right when the thieves were starting
and
to hit
that's
the
yeah,
house.
and that's the one movie I already watched was Home Alone because I just randomly watch it.
The
Um,
second one's still the best.
yes, as a movie, yes, I think the second one is a better
But
movie.
Home Alone 1 was always going to have that title of this is what created the franchise.
I don't know. Like, I think I still rather watch the Home Alone 2 like instead,
Yeah,
just because I think at least to me, I don't know the numbers or anything of that nature. I thought the Home Alone 2 was way more popular,
it was.
but maybe
I think it was because it was a little better made.
maybe or the fact that yeah, I don't know. You have more money with like the success of Home Alone.
Yeah. But when I was watching the Home Alone at work between phone calls and stuff, it was there are certain scenes that I'm just like, he'd be dead. He'd be dead. That wouldn't be allowed. He no, okay. like it was typical like early 90s things that like kids could get away with back then. And parents can kind of get away with back then. Today, you look at it and you're like, oh no. Like, there's a scene where he crawls up into his brother's shelves to
Yeah.
grab the money, and the shelves just collapse on top of him, along with the spider tank. The spider tank.
Mm-hmm.
That should have injured him far more than it did.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay.
I think one of the biggest things about it is like the first thing I think is like, man, these are awful parents to
No, they
like
really are.
not but once but twice forget your child.
Yeah, well, three
No,
times.
three is not the same.
Yeah,
Three
three's
is
not the
not
same.
the same.
No, yeah,
Kid.
twice. In the first one, like, you see how crappy they treat him, and you're like, oh, now you're
Yeah,
worried
like
about him?
no one's. Yeah, it's like kind of one of those things. Is like, well, who am I supposed to root for in this situation? Because
Yeah.
part of me didn't want to root for the kid in any way because like I was like, wow, he's just a little bastard. Like,
Up until he starts fighting the home invaders, then you're rooting for him
I
because
think
you're
that's
like,
why.
yeah, get him.
I think that's why I like the second one better too because I like the kid better. Like,
Yeah.
and like the kid, I was like, yeah, but you're kind of a douche. Like, I don't see a reason of like really like rooting for you. At least in the second one, this is generally a person that like, well, I'm stuck. I'm gonna use what I
I
got
like
in this
the second one
situation.
more because it seems more plausible somehow, other than just waking up and forgetting your kid. It's they
Yeah,
got separated in an airport, and he went on what he thought was the correct plane. They went on the wrong one, or something happened. Because he was following someone who looked like his dad.
right.
That seems more plausible to me.
The only thing that was kind of weird, and it does make sense in things of that nature, besides the fact that Donald Trump was in it, and is that the part like right when he's getting it, he's getting the room,
Hmm.
and like it was straight up credit card fraud.
Oh my god,
Like I
they
was
didn't
sitting, I
even
was like,
question that. No, they questioned it
ah.
at the very end or near the middle.
When it was too late.
Yeah.
Like it was already too late because that's at the time that's how you did credit cards. You just like did that swipe thing
Yep.
and you just pick the numbers, do it later. But you're supposed to pick up on like certain situations before
Like a random kid handing you a credit
yeah,
card.
like you would it would
Mm.
raise red flags. But yeah, I can understand. I guess in the '90s that there was a little bit more trusting of what like they do, and
Yeah,
then they would be
nowadays
like,
it's a
"Oh,
little
well, this
more.
kid definitely needs help. I'm so sorry. Yeah, well, we'll just get to him later. Blah 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 blah. All that stuff." Speaking of which, do you have you watched the commercial?
Which one?
The commercial that they, I think, I don't know if it was Amazon or I don't know if it was Amazon or Google. It was Google Assistant. And do you know this? Macaulay Culkin came back to play as
I
an older
saw
version
something
of
about
as
that, but
himself.
I never actually got to see it.
I watched it immediately as I watched it. It's literally like him doing like the same scenes, essentially some of the same
Oh
scenes,
no.
like him eating macaroni and cheese on the table while he's like asking like Google Assistant to do certain things that like kind of carry the plot. And then he's jumping on the bed to do certain stuff, and then like the truck comes in, the van comes in
Yeah.
like at the front, and he's like, hey, like put on like I forgot the person. I always forget the dude's name, but it was basically his name's like operation mode, and it
Uh-huh.
was just a bunch of lights that turned on, and like it turned on certain parts, and it was making references to certain traps that was on there,
Oh my
and then like all you
gosh.
hear is like someone obviously do an impression of Joe Pesci's voice, like, and be like, "Let's get out of here before we get found," and it just drives off. That's like that, and that's the thing. It's Google Assistant. It's kind of funny and it's kind
I'm
of
gonna have to watch
interesting.
that now.
I find it weird that he decided to even come back to this because he was very adamant about the fact of how like the show kind of ruined him. Like he feels like
I
his early times, he felt like the show kind of ruined him. Maybe it was just a drug stalking. Who
I
knows?
think it was that he looks so much healthier now.
Well, yeah, he looks a little better. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but before, but yeah, I really enjoy watching that at work, and I really appreciate it. I don't know if they did it just to make us feel better about ourselves or give us a holiday special. That because one of my coworkers was like, "Yeah, I fussed and whined about it enough so they put it on." I'm like, I don't know if that's the case,
Yeah, who knows? I mean, that's the case.
but let's see. I think one of my other holiday specials that I really enjoy. Or were you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, I think one of my
I don't have anything else on the list.
oh
I have crap tons on the list. It's just those are the
the main
I
one.
need to watch this month or I'll like
I need
kill
to.
someone. I need to watch at least like 50% of those, and then I will not be in a rage of death.
Sure, But no, I think my other favorite one, and a lot of people like to watch it if they're in that fandom, is the Doctor Who Christmas specials.
Yeah.
I really enjoy them. Going back and watching the 10th Doctor Christmas special, like when he first regenerates into the 10th Doctor, it's really funny now. Back then, you're like, what? Now I'm watching it, I'm like, robot Santas with horns that explode.
What? That makes sense. Totally.
The spinning Christmas tree of death made me laugh so hard when I first saw it.
That is probably one of the most ridiculous like things I've ever watched.
He just randomly pops out of bed and whee, Christmas tree explodes.
That's just why.
Yeah.
My favorite will always be the Nick Frost Santa.
Oh my
special.
god, that was like a
Because
mind trip.
Nick Frost as Santa was one of the best things I could ever have.
Oh,
When
I
they first
know.
announced it, like in there, I was like, ah. And this was like around the time I think it was Capaldi's Doctor, right?
No,
sure?
Tennant.
Is it?
Not
no,
Tennant, not Tennant.
No.
Smith. It was Smith.
Was it Smith? Okay.
Ooh.
Or did he come? No.
Oh my
Unless
god.
he came in twice. Like I thought it was Capaldi's.
Now I gotta look it up because my poor brain's like, wait, what?
Yeah, I could have swore it was Capaldi's.
Nick
Maybe-
Frost in Doctor Who Christmas special. It was Capaldi, you're right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
But no,
'Cause,
that
like-
was a mind bender. It was really good, but it was a mind bender of a episode.
Yeah.
Because it was like Inception, because it was a dream within a dream within a dream. Yeah.
Yeah, it was, and I thought it was a great episode. It was well written. Nick Frost as Santa was
Oh, yeah.
hilarious.
I love him,
Like he was just Santa's an asshole.
essentially.
Yeah, I mean that's how I think it. Anyways, I think Santa's actually an asshole. I mean when you have to deliver like
At
presents
some
to,
point,
like,
he's just like, nah, mate.
to 7.4 billion kids. Like at that point, it's like I'm done.
I'm done. But no, I really enjoy the Christmas
me.
specials. Now, I'm trying to figure out which one's my favorite. The one where Matt Smith regenerated, I thought was pretty interesting because they literally were in a town called Christmas, and
Oh, the giant like hour-long special, right?
yes,
That was like this entire sense. It was like you already knew he was going to regenerate this episode, but it was like let's make a big deal out of it. kind of
oh
thing.
yeah, he literally went out with a bang, literally. And then this year's different though.
Oh yeah, we don't get a
You don't get a Christmas
this
special.
year.
You get a New Year's special.
I think it's smart.
Yeah, I mean, there's only so many Christmas stories you
I
can
think
tell.
that well, to be fair, to segue into this particular doctor, anyways, I think it has a lot to do with like how this particular doctor and the team around it and the head writer and everything in that nature is taking this show and trying to completely take it into a different direction.
Yeah.
I mean,
Which makes sense, and I don't mind it, but it's kind of been like, well, you got the Christmas special, and it's almost like a tradition, but now all of a sudden you don't have that. So I'm a little
well, it
bummed.
was a tradition because like there was always a Christmas special. Like,
Yeah, and I'm kind of bummed that this year I
through
won't
the
be able to
beginnings
watch a
of-
Doctor Who for Christmas.
yeah. I mean, that's fine. I
I'm
mean,
not
that
I'm
just
not
gives
gonna
me more
sit there
time to
and
watch other things
yeah, I'm not
because
gonna sit there and be like, why am I? But I'm just kind of like,
oh, she
oh,
will. She'll just sit in the corner. She'll just sit in the corner,
just see me in a corner rocking back and forth.
just watching like Christmas tree spinning, death the Christmas trees.
Death by Christmas tree, death by Christmas tree. Uh,
Speaking of the Doctor and new direction, so we have a new Doctor as of this year of Jodie Whittaker, and
yeah,
also comes with a new team, a new head writer who was the head writer of Broadchurch, which happens to be Jodie Whittaker was also on Broadchurch,
yeah, and
uh,
David Tennant, which is
and
nice.
yeah, and
And
David
David
Tennant.
Tennant's already been like, apparently, I love the story he tells about how they told him who the new Doctor was gonna be. Because according to him, he was just chilling, and they got a hold of him. I think the director from Broadchurch got a hold of him. And was like, "Hey, so I got the head writing for Doctor Who, right?" And he goes, "Yeah, great, it's awesome." He goes, "Do you want to know who the new Doctor is?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, totally." So he's like, "All right, hang on." So they're on the other line, and when they come on, you'll know. And he's like, "What?" And they're like, "No, don't worry, you'll know." And so they switched the line over, and he's like, "Hello?" And she's like, "Hello," and he's like, "Hey."
So it's just so great.
So yeah, and so he's already been like, "No, she's gonna be perfect." And of course, Smith and Capaldi are just like, "Yeah, no, she's fine, she's perfect," and I agree. I love her.
Yeah, I think she's great. I think she definitely is exactly what it needed. A new twist into like what it was, and not
Hmm.
making you feel stagnant with the same type of people.
And it doesn't feel
Uh,
like it's a drastic change. I mean, yeah, it's different gender, but essentially the way she's played it, it still feels like the Doctor.
I still feel like there's like some parts. I feel like there's many parts of it that's still like the same type of doctor as
Oh
it
yeah,
usually is. Like her extremely overdrawn way of
of
using
using the
her
sonic
sonic screwdriver.
screwdriver. Yeah, extend arm. No, my what I find really interesting is like there's I don't know if this is the writers or this is the actor kind of playing into it, but there are certain parts of it where I get a feel that some characteristics of past doctors come in, and you get that kind of feeling of that characteristics, like the upbeat kind of of the 11th Doctor, and the kind of like back and forth from the with the 10th Doctor, kind of like doing different things. Not so much from Capaldi yet,
No, I
because Capaldi's was very grumpy.
no. Well, Capaldi's was also like an angry kind of
Angry
person.
Scotsman.
Yeah, just angry Scotsman. Which I enjoyed. I said many times that Capaldi is instantly became one of my favorite Doctor just because like his really changed like how like made a situation where I was like, all right, this feels way more down to earth. There's way more serious
Yeah.
tones that's coming into it, which I thought that was the only time it was gonna happen. But man, there are episodes that are just like, all right, we got to hit this at home like real hard. Like the
Mhm.
second episode, Rosa Parks. Um, just the fact that
Oh
they
my
were
god,
willing
that
to
was
go
so
yeah,
good.
the fact that they were willing to talk about this outside, and this is outside of
UK.
English stuff. This is
Yeah.
America. Like, just understand this is American history, like straight up, and they're diving into this and diving at how
And you
hard it
have two
was.
characters who are of color.
Yeah, and
So,
I think it did really well of not necessarily like talking about the factors of color, but how it was in the times of Rosa Parks and why it led to the way it led. They even took the time to like really put in the part, even though it's through exposition of the Doctor, talking about like what this led to this and why did this happen this way and
and they didn't
why they
necessarily
have to make the decision, make the actions that they have to make sure happen so that she can
do
do what
have
she's
that
supposed to
event can
do.
happen essentially.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I liked because like that episode, it wasn't necessarily them doing anything per se. It was more or less preserving that history,
yeah.
which is great. And then you get other parts where she's all like, "Remember on the witch hunting one?" She's like, "Remember, we can't do anything about it. There's nothing we can do." Jumps in. "You said we couldn't do anything. I changed my
Yeah,
mind."
it's just like, nah, this pisses me off enough.
That right there, when that scene happened, I was like, "Up there's a doctor."
Well, you know what's funny is that like I think a lot of it has to do with the changes of history. There could be somebody that argues like, well, why would she do something like in this nation in Salem and not do it? Is
Well,
it
it wasn't
Salem?
no,
No,
it
not
was in
Salem.
England.
It's England.
Yeah.
Um, why would you do something like this in this particular situation, not do it in Rosa Parks? And I was like, well, you have to think of the history of it. Like back then, at that point, like there was not as much written history.
No, what it was. This is what it was. So, with the Rosa Parks, that is what is known as a fixed point in history
Right.
for the Doctor universe.
Yes.
And so Doctor knew, you can't change this. If you change this, bad juju's gonna
I
happen.
mean, yeah.
Where with the witch hunter episode, they literally walked in there and they said, "Oh, we're in the village of blah blah blah," and Graham was like, "I've never heard of this place." And even the other two characters were like, "I've never heard of this place."
Well, that's why I was saying that there's not in that particular
And it wasn't because it
situation.
wasn't
There's
written
not.
history. It's because if you remember at the very end, the king's all like, "Let this place name be erased from memory and from everything. This place doesn't exist."
That's basically saying there's no history of it. Like
Exactly.
that you're trying to say. That's what I was getting
Oh,
at.
okay.
But I mean, you're right though. Like it's
So in
essentially
that
like
case, the doctor could interfere.
yeah, like it was
That
basically
was the
this
excuse.
weird inside pocket where like you could just create your own thought process of what may have happened during that time.
Yep.
Apparently, it was aliens that just was imprisoned in in the earth.
Yeah, I really love.
Before we continue,
Well-
if you have not watched any of this Doctor Who, spoiler alert, sorry, this is a little late, but oh well, who cares? Watch.
Should have watched them by now. They're all out. If not, shame.
Continue.
Anyway, but no, I really enjoy some of the jokes that they put out with the Doctor. And of course, being the Doctor's the character, the Doctor as a character, I'm trying to get out here, has always been male, obviously, except for the parody episode. If you ever managed to catch that, it's kind of hard to watch because of how silly it is, but it's funny.
It's really ridiculous.
It really is. But you get to the point where the doctor herself, Jodie Whittaker's doctor, she's trying to do stuff, and being a woman, they kind of either ignore her or kind of just brush her off. And she makes a comment at one point. She's like, "When I was a man, this was so much easier." And I was like, "Yep." And then like the joke about pockets in the entire like first 2 episodes.
Oh. Pockets.
Yeah. Like her entire joke about that, I was just like, hee, because she has a fanny pack.
Yeah, she
Because
does.
the pockets in the women's outfit are ridiculously short.
All right, let's delve a little bit to like the more of the materialistic parts of it. How do you feel about our outfit?
I'm a little thrown off by it, but then again, like the more I looked at it, the more I'm like, no, that's a doctor.
You know, part of me was like,
I mean, if they can pull off the Technicolor dream coat they did back in the 80s with the Eighth Doctor.
Eighth Doctor, right?
No,
Fifth Doctor.
Seventh Doctor. Seventh
Okay.
Doctor.
So that's the first thing I was thinking
See,
about.
that was the 70s.
That was definitely what I was thinking about was the Seventh Doctor, and I was like, wow, this is as ridiculous as this.
Yeah, but not as much. But at the same time, like the more I looked at the outfit, the more I was just like, that's actually kind of cute.
Well, it is cute, but like I think the thing
love
is
her jacket.
it's
though.
not about whether it's not about the like the Technicolor or anything of nature. It's just how odd like
The combination.
the combination of things.
Yeah.
Like, all right, I got rolled up capris or whatever, and then I have suspenders with
a rainbow shirt
with a blue shirt that has like a yellow strip or whatever.
It's like a dulled rainbow.
Dull rainbow, right? Like one stripe.
No, it's okay.
No, but it is like
just straight across.
It's like
there.
one strip of the rainbow, and then you have this elongated, like obviously
beautiful
not fits
jacket. I want that jacket.
The jacket's great, but it's like unnecessarily big. It has a hood. It's like whoa.
It's because of the pockets. Remember, she was just like pockets.
She needs pockets. Okay,
all the doctors need pockets.
I feel for every woman who has pants and don't really have.
There was a it's kind of a running joke about pockets with the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly because he does need that. But there's I don't know if it was with the 10th Doctor or it was a little bit further back where one of the doctor he has his jacket and he's going into his pocket and he just keeps pulling stuff out. And so they're like, "Oh yeah, it's an interdimensional pocket," and he just keeps pulling stuff out. Like Mary Poppins' bag, it just keeps pulling stuff out.
Oh man, yeah. You know what? I'm really enjoying it. I'm having fun with it. So that's as much as I can say right now.
I'm looking forward. I kind of rather enjoy that. There's not been as much said about the upcoming New Year special, other than small little something's gonna happen, and that's about it.
Well, BBC is just like
they're cracking
Marvel.
down on that.
BBC is just like Marvel in terms of like, man, we are super hush hush about everything.
Oh yeah, BBC's gotten like locked down.
I won't say
they've got to a point where if anybody sneaks anything out, there's gonna be a fine.
Yeah, I wouldn't say they're as bad as Marvel because like you can get in trouble real
That's
hard.
because Disney
for stuff. And no, that's just Marvel.
Oh, okay.
Like Disney. Yeah, I mean Disney has stuff to do with it on legally parts of it, but Marvel's been really the ones that's been keeping things shut. And Kevin Feige is like very very adamant about that
Which
because like
I'm okay with
in
because
many
I don't
cases,
necessarily want to know what happens yet.
well, most of the time, like unless you're like super top grade, you don't even get really a script. Like
No.
unless you're like Robert Downey Jr. and flipping Kevin Feige and like and two like and the Russo brothers, and that's about it.
Yep.
Like in like there's like a collective few that like can get certain things for the sake of like not revealing all this information out to certain ways.
Yeah. But no, it's stuff like that that I was really enjoying, and I'm looking forward to more of her stuff. Now, I don't know if it's a rumor or if it's confirmed, but there's not going to be any more episodes until 2020.
Mm.
I'm kind of hoping that's not the case. Like, I can see if there's going to be episodes like late 2019, just because like film and production, and plus I'm pretty sure Jodie Whittaker's on other projects, which is why that might be the case.
I mean, it's possible. Um, it really depends. I don't know because since this is a whole new team and how they do things with this show might be completely different than they did before. So,
Right, but I
so the
also
fact that
don't
they
want them
don't
to take
have,
too long of a break, because I feel like if they take too long of a break, that fandom is. I mean, if we can hold on for a year for her new stuff, but I'm saying,
I'm not gonna lie. I don't think waiting a whole year for more Doctor Who content is going to ruin the fan base. Like,
you,
I don't think that's going to lower the fan base.
you don't think so?
No, because BBC has did so much time to like hype up like this new Doctor for so long, and the fact that people were just stuck with it this much, and you got that much viewership, and it's been a long time since until then. I think they'll be fine. I think when you literally do nothing with it, like you don't even put out information or like maybe a teaser or something, then yeah, you might have something. But yeah, everything in 2018 has been built up on hype, okay?
Yep.
And essentially that's how you get people interested in your product. Like I mean, I don't know how many things that's been like perfectly set just because of the fact that it's like, hey, I hey, here's this thing, get super hyped on it. Oh,
Oh, yeah. So, but no, I really, really enjoy her. I like the characters, except for oh my god, what's his name? Ryan. Like
yeah.
he's okay.
Ryan's a Ryan's a douche.
Well, I mean,
I
he's
think it,
cocky. He's just
you
kind of
know,
like,
part of me is like trying so hard to like be like, yeah, he's a douche, but like he kind of has a reason to be. Like he's just angry. Like it's not like he's just being a douche to be a douche, but he's just angry because he lost his grandmother.
yeah.
So like I can understand his.
So he's taking his anger out,
I
kind of like
think
on
he
everyone
is. I
else.
think he's seriously taking his anger out and just he's had less of a optimistic view because of it.
My only thing is like they gave his character a disability, which it isn't a major disability per se.
It's just a disability that kind of gets in the way of some
So,
cases.
yeah, they mention it, but it never actually does.
Yeah, but it's so the problem was is that it only really comes up in the first part of it, and it's supposed to be him like kind of growing out of it. But I was like, okay, that's cool. He kind of grew out of it because of this happening. He tries to get better, but it seems like it seemed like it kind of just they randomly mention it back as if it's supposed to be
Yeah,
like a random like interference. It's like that doesn't really do it. He's jumping
yeah,
into a chute. Like,
yeah,
what does that have to do with anything?
yeah. And like he mentions it, oh, last time I tried this, I broke my foot or I hurt myself,
Yeah,
and then
well,
like he lands perfectly fine. You're like,
I think it's one of those like unnecessary like conversation like kind of situation
yeah.
filler conversation just to get something like funny
How
or
the heck does Yaz still have a job? Like they mentioned she's a police officer, and then that's it. She's has she gone back onto the force? Has she?
well no like it's another one of those situations where I know that it mentions that like they don't just go like every single time, you know, like
Yeah.
there is the same like situation like every other doctor has it. They go back in the same amount of time like they usually are like when they left,
Mm.
and then like when they go back they're like doing certain other thing, they're doing their
Okay.
various
I
things.
would love to see an episode where Yaz is on duty and like she notices something's up and she gets a hold of the doctor and is like, "Hey, can you come help me get this or fix this?"
Well, we already have two things that had to do with her family, so
Ooh, yeah, true. But those were the spider.
yeah,
Well,
Spider.
the spider one we got. You know, you're right. You're right because
No,
her mom,
Spider, and the thing about
her grandma.
her grandmother.
Which oh my god, that one made me cry.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I think it was a good
it was
episode. I
so
was like sitting, there, I was like,
sad.
wow, I completely forgot about this issue between between the two when they
Yeah.
just split, and I was like, oh yeah, that's a thing. That's awful.
Yeah.
Another one of those situations you can't mess with the
Yeah,
timeline.
you usually can't because then you're just gonna mess up your own timeline.
Yeah, well, not even just that, but there's a lot of other issues
Oh yeah.
that come up with that.
Well, yeah. But no, in the monster that you thought was supposed to be the bad guy, it turned out to be like, we are preserving this now. We're doing this. So I thought that was an interesting twist.
Was interesting. I loved and hated the episode where what's his face comes back. They're the I guess the main villain of this
Oh, the
particular
final
arc.
episode.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
this arc. I loved it and I hated it at the same time. So
same.
like I really liked it because it was really good. It was really well written. There was a lot of parts that I really thought was cool. Everything that had to do with Graham was awesome.
Oh my god. He had every
Holy
right to be out for revenge.
everything about him was like, yeah, I would totally be the exact same way.
I love the end though. Like he like, comes in and she's like looking at him like, "Did you?" And he's like, "I couldn't do it, but I shot him in the knee."
I did shoot him. It's like
She's just like, he's like, "He's fine."
I love that. I was like, I did shoot him though. Like, just want to put it out there. I did shoot him. And I was like, yeah, that's exactly what I would be like. Especially like literally it's the episode right after he gets to literally see her again
In the pocket universe.
in the pocket universe, and it's like, nope, I can't keep you. It's like, yeah, I'd just be pissed. I know, like, and like suddenly existence of this guy's back up again. No, nope. This dude's dying.
And I love how like Ryan was like, "Don't do it. You can't do it. Just don't do it." And he's like, "No, no." But then he comes in and goes, "No, I'm gonna help you like put this guy in stasis."
Yeah. Well, after that episode, I think that was when Ryan was better for me.
Yes.
Because I think like Ryan had to like deal with the fact that might come back up again, and he had to learn that like
I would have
in his own way of loss.
I would have really, really liked to have delved more into the two characters that were being used by the bad guy.
Yes and no. I feel like I got too much.
You think?
I don't know. They just seem like an unnecessary NPC for the sake
Um,
of the story going along. Because
Fair.
like that was because again, the only reason they're there is just because of their powers. Like that it had nothing to do with like the type of person they are or their personality done stuff. No, it's just that they're powerful people and they were needed to be a device
hmm
for the plot.
Can we take a moment to reflect on the fact that no angels, no Daleks, nothing.
I think that's the smart, and again, that's the other thing.
Well,
I
yeah.
said that this has been the smartest way of trying to delve away from it, try to create different ideas, even though there is a sense of the monster of the week kind of situation, spiders, uh, which again,
But those weren't necessarily monsters per se. They were just
monsters of the week.
genetically altered spiders.
Yeah, but I think the ongoing theme, and even then, what the ongoing theme has been this entire time is the Doctor is very pacifist, like compared,
To a
like
point.
more so than before.
Well, yeah.
Like she this time she goes out of her way to like to get other people to not do it.
Yeah,
Because like she doesn't like the previous doctors don't usually do that. Like they don't go out
because
of
they
their
were
way.
mad.
Or no, even then, like there were some cases that were like, yeah, I'm gonna go kill this guy, and he would just like kind of like not think about it, kind of thing, and like, okay, I'm just gonna be over here then. She would go out of her way, and and mainly just because of how they've written it, they make it so she goes out of her way for everybody to take things in a pacifist way, non-bloodshed in every way, no guns, none of that stuff.
Well, the Doctor's always been that way, but this one's a little bit more
Again, the way they've
predominant.
written it, it's predominant. It's
Yeah.
super obvious that she's against it.
Well, and I think they're also trying to point out that she's really against the Doctor themselves is like really against guns.
Well, yeah, and understandable, like in that sense. I just think like in the time of this era, I understand why this is more prominent than it is before, especially in the year 2018.
I didn't notice something. I rewatched the first episode with my parents yesterday because they finally caught up with all of Doctor Who. They just hadn't watched her stuff yet, so I was like, "Oh, here's the first episode." There's a scene a little bit after that they introduced her and whatnot, and
Mhm.
they've kind of gotten to the point where we're like, okay, we're gonna go out and collect information throughout the town about this weird stuff that's been going on. And it was right before she passes out, and she's all like, "Oh, I suddenly feel really tired." And Grace is all like, "Oh yeah, you did have a pretty bad fall. You should probably kind of lay down." And she's like, "We should probably take you to the hospital." And she turns around and she's like, "No." And a lot of that cracks me up because like he's the Doctor. If you think about it, had like some really bad experiences in the hospital. Plus, he's pretty much allergic to a lot of human medicine.
Yeah.
Like it's deadly to him.
Yeah.
So
That's such a it's such a weird thing where it's like, yeah, Earth is now still the problem in in like everything that has to do with aliens. It's like, are we still sitting there putting this idea that like humans are still like able to like beat aliens easily with just
well,
their stuff?
this time it wasn't so much like Earth was the problem. It was you had the spider things. It wasn't an alien thing. That was a genetic mutation
Oh yeah, that's just
and like
humans. That's just
radioactive
that's one
stuff.
human, which was, my God, that was everything about that was like, hey, we're not trying to say this is definitely a version of a certain somebody,
Yeah.
but we're definitely saying this is a version of a certain. We're making fun of a certain somebody.
Yup. And then the only other thing you get really like Earth is being threatened is at the very end with the special where he's like, I'm going to get my revenge on
Yeah,
everything and everyone that's
yeah.
ever
Oh
wronged
no,
me.
I was just meaning like most of the time, like it's just so funny in like almost every show and TV show and movie where like there's aliens involved and humans have some humans have something about them that seems deadly for the aliens. I'm just like sitting there like,
Well,
out of all the planets that's around here,
fair.
humans from Earth is the ones that's okay, sure.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm really enjoying Doctor Who. I can't wait to see more.
Yeah, but other than that, that's our episode for the night. Yeah, we're trying to keep it short because we
Cause
want more.
Christmas.
Yeah, because we want to do more Christmas things, and we don't like you that much. No, I'm sorry, we love you.
We love
But
you. Watch us.
yeah,
Listen.
thanks for listening, and remember, if you want to support us, then share, subscribe, and leave a review on iTunes, Google Podcasts, and Spotify.
Leave
Uh,
us any suggestions for future podcasts or anything you want to hear about, questions, things like that. We're always down for.
Yeah, and remember, this will be our last episode before the new year. So, Merry Christmas, have a new year, Happy Holidays, and hope for a good 2019.
Woo! Have a good time, guys.
Bye.